Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing amazing. My name is Nathan and I'm going to be talking to you guys about version 1.25 of Tasigur Geist, Geist of the Golden Banana, Geist of Banana Traft, Tasigur Geist Banana Man, I don't know, whatever this deck is called, I haven't decided yet, but this is an update to the version 1.0 DeckTech and gameplay videos that I did. So if you haven't watched those yet, please go do that. There's a lot of foundational and background information. I go into every card in detail and talk about why I selected them. This is just going to be more of a high-level update, and it's going to assume you've already watched that video. So let's get started. This on the screen was version 1.0, and it's interesting how we actually got here. Where I started was here. It was this, you know, mid-rangey deck. It was bigger than it is now, and what I essentially did in the way that things evolved, where I tried to make the deck a bit smaller. When I cut colonnades, I realized that I could cut some lands. I eventually went down to one Batter Skull and then trimmed them all. Or no, I think I was at one Batter Skull and then decided that that was too expensive at 22 lands and added in some Restoration Angels and Cryptic Commands. And at first, that worked really well. I did some more testing. I thought the deck had improved from the initial shell. Posted the video and did some more testing and realized that I had made a mistake. When I added the Restoration Angels and Cryptic Commands in, I started taking the deck in a different direction. Now, I think a lot of this is because cards like Cryptic Command and Restoration Angel are just sort of kind of a natural go-to for me. And a big reason for that is I play so much blue-white red. Well, this deck has way more than just 4 Geists of St. Traft that it's playing at sorcery speed. It has 4 Lingering Souls, 3 Geists, 2 Swords. And so, you know, at first I added those spells in, thought it was great. The mistake I made was not seeing that I was selecting spells that forced the deck at times to try to live in 2 different worlds, where it wants to cast some of its spells at sorcery speed and some at instant speed. And you know, it wasn't until I experienced some very clunky hands and some very awkward plays that I realized I had done that. So I decided to go back to the core of what was working and what was winning me bunches of games, and go back and start from there. So that's what I did. Let's pull it up on the screen here. This is what I'm working with now. I want to highlight a couple of things for you. Steel Shaper's Gift is really good in this deck. I know it seems cute and your first thought is probably to dismiss it, but it's very much a Swiss Army type of card because you can get things like a Batter Skull or different swords. If you haven't drawn either of these, then Steel Shaper's Gift allows you to get exactly what you need. At the very late game, it's just a 6-mana Batter Skull. You cast it, you get Batter Skull, you put Batter Skull into play. So I'm actually a big fan of having this as a one-of. Academy Ruins, I can't say enough how much I like this card in this deck, and I like it even more against Batter Skull. Earlier in testing, I was playing against a junk list. I think I brought Batter Skull back from their graveyard through 2 different Maelstrom Pulses. And then I finally actually won that game by pausing on my upkeep, putting Sword of Light and Shadow on top of my library, drawing it, equipping it to a Germ token, and attacking for the win. So Academy Ruins is sweet in the deck. It's sweet because sometimes our swords get destroyed, our Batter Skull gets destroyed, and it's also good because sometimes we put those things into the graveyard with Thought Scour, and it's nice to be able to get them back. Some other things, I went back up to the full 4 count of Lingering Souls. As far as mid-range games go, I think it's one of our best grindy cards. It is possible that the 4th Lingering Souls could be another removal spell, so there is that to consider. It's also possible, because we only have just this one 5-drop, and we do have 6 cantrips as well as 4 remands that we could cut a land, cut a Lingering Souls, and add 2 or more removal spells. If your meta is really aggressive, that might not be a bad call. But anyway, this is the deck kind of back where I initially had it before I went off in this strange course and added the Cryptic Commands and Restoration Angels. So yeah, I think the deck is sweet. I've really been enjoying it. Some people probably say, is it better than Junk? You know, I don't know if that's true. I want to do some versus videos and play like 5 or 6 or 7 games against Junk. It can grind with Junk. It might not look like it, but it really can. Later in the game, Academy Runes can get you a lot of value. If you can get a sword back and put it on things, you can extract tons of value out of a sword. In fact, there is a gameplay video where you're going to see that happening. When I first made this deck tech, I said, hey guys, I don't have time to record any games for you. Ended the video, started uploading it. Of course, I was like, oh, I'd really like to record games. You know, what's a deck tech without a gameplay video? So I recorded the game, and now I'm having to come back and re-record the deck tech because I realized there was a technical issue and you couldn't actually see anything on my screen while I recorded the whole deck tech. So I've spent far more time making this content for you guys than I had initially intended, but you know, obviously you guys are worth it, so I hope you appreciate it in kind. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Please consider subscribing, and I hope that you draw very well and smash tons of faces. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.